Oh, we're live. We're live. But
Go. Yeah, that was fun. Hey, everyone.
Let's get that out of here. Anyway, guys, we're good morning. And before we get started, let's hear from one of our sponsors. And if you know anybody that's a vendor and wants to be on one of our podcasts with their little commercial, reach out to us. We're always looking for some new vendors. But today we're going to hear from Deb LaPierre.
Hi, my name is Deb LaPierre, and I'm a senior loan officer with Academy Mortgage. I have been in the mortgage lending industry for over 15 years. Purchasing a home is one of the most important investments that we'll ever make in our lifetime. So I feel that it is so imperative that you make the right choice. Being in this industry, I have had the pleasure and honor to help many, many people get into their homes, and I welcome the opportunity to be of service to you. Thank you so much.
So good morning. Do you ever find yourself spending your days dreaming or visualizing about someone else's life instead of doing what it takes for you to get closer to having the actual life that you want? You know, it's kind of amazing. We get distracted by a lot of different things, people looking at other people's lives, and just thinking, well, that can't be me. And so the question today is, do you even know what it means to dream big? Like, what do you see for your life? You know, that's something that we talk about all the time. Remember, if what we see is what we get, then what are you seeing? So this week on MidWeek MindFreak, we're going to be talking about, do you think big enough?
Chuck and Angela run multiple million-dollar companies. They are members of Riz Media's Billionaire Club, have coached and mentored thousands of agents, and are international speakers. They say by radically changing your mindset, not only can you change your outlook on life, but affect the actual results you obtain. Welcome to MidWeek MindFreak.
Yeah, today we want to radically change your mindset, to think bigger in your life, to really dream and live a life that maybe 5 years from now you go, today's the turning point, and 5 years you look back and you go, wow,
right.
My life has radically changed. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's not one person that's listening right now that can't have that. You got to stop looking at other people and go, that's not me. I can't get that. Wow, that's a dream that I don't think I'll ever achieve. Well, I'm going to tell you, we're just coming back from Miami at the Grant Cardone conference, and it was mind-blowing. And it's really cool to finally be around people, feeling the energy, being around like-minded people. And I'm going to tell you, wasn't it incredible to see one speaker after another that are just major players?
Yeah, and you're going to get a little glimpse into our brains after that experience during this podcast, because it was that impactful.
You know, when you start to look at each speaker coming on stage, and you know, Pitbull doing 65 million a year, Kevin O'Leary 450, their net value is 450 million. A-Rod, net value 300 million. Tommy Hilfiger, net value over 400 million. Like, it was just one person after another, and you can't help but go, holy crap, we are not only not even close to being in that league, it's one of those things where you say, that can't be me. And I'm going to tell you guys, look, maybe you won't hit 400 million net value, but I think most of us are thinking too
way
small.
Too small.
And, you know, so if what you see is what you get, the question is, what are you seeing? Who are you around What are you emulating? Is the picture, the vision of your life big, like massively big, or small? And some people, maybe you're thinking big, but really it's small. And we're going to open up
we found that out.
some of those ideas. Do you see yourself as a major player, an influencer, or just one of many?
And maybe you don't even know if you're thinking big or not. So hopefully this podcast today will help you to determine, are you thinking big, or are you just shortchanging yourself?
Yeah, so remember, if what you see is what you get, what are you seeing? If you're like most people, chances are your vision is somewhat limited, which of course raises the question, why? So let's get into why first. Why do some people think small? We have a couple of ideas.
Mm-hmm. I think that one of them is that you've not allowed yourself, and this is not you, it is impossible. You haven't allowed yourself to actually experience big. And what I mean by that, if you've never been part of something big, how can you conceive what big is? And like, here's one reason that maybe why you don't have the experience of thinking big. Maybe you are comparing yourself to the wrong things or the wrong people. All right, I'm going to give you an example. A lot of our audience is real estate. So let's say you are in the business, and so is your mom or your friend or whatever, who cares? And your mom produces $5 million a year. And so now you've been working in the business, you're striving, and you're doing 10 million. You're doing 10 million, and you just seem to hit a ceiling. Well, you need to consider, are you hitting that ceiling because you have this kind of a thought, well, I'm doing twice as much as my mom is. That's really great. Like, you're comparing yourself incorrectly. No diss on mom. No diss on mom. This could be a friend. But maybe what you should be doing is changing your focus, and instead of comparing yourself down, go find somebody in your market that's doing 40 million and ask yourself, why not me? And that's the beginning stages of starting to think big. It's like, another example, it's like when the whole world thought it was humanly impossible to break the 4-minute mile until who did? Roger Bannister. Once he broke that 4-minute mile, people's minds went, wow, it's possible. I can do that too.
The mindset, the power of the mind has that much to do with it.
Yep.
Which leads into
Well, let me just tell one more thing.
Yes, of course you can.
When we were
you can say more than one more thing if you would like, honey. You are the queen of
one more thing
of the podcast. Yes.
Okay. So one more thing, and this is just one example of many that happened to us in the conference. Literally, Grant Cardone had come up to us and said, "Hey, how much did you make? How much did you make last year?" And we told him. He's like, "You can do 25 million." And I was like, "What?" And
we felt like peons in that room.
Absolutely.
Where even us are thinking too small.
Right.
And look, we're going to talk about some things, guys, and to be completely transparent, this is not about the money.
No.
This is not about that dollar amount.
Mm-mm.
But the dollar amount has a huge play in it, because it's that dollar amount that affords this thing that I'm going to tell you guys right now, that if you don't experience freedom, then you're missing out on a huge part of what's out there for your life. So the next reason too is lack of confidence. And maybe this is you out there, and this is what we hear. And I know, look, even we all say this. You have phrases like, I've never done that before, or I can't see myself doing that, or I'm not that good.
Me.
That person on stage, that's not me. No. Hey, look, there's a bit of a difference. I'm not sitting here saying to you, hey, listen, you guys should be like A-Rod or Drew Brees was on stage. Look, that's a talent. And it's just like, I'm not going to be an opera singer, as much as I'd like to be.
You're not.
Me. I'm not going to be a professional opera singer. But the point I was saying is, it's not the fact that these guys were on stage as the professional athlete. These guys were on stage because they were also businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they didn't just go in one lane. So the point being is, stop putting this negative that can't be me, that's not me. I can't make that kind of money. here's the crazy part. Every one of them on stage is just like everybody else when they started.
Yep.
There's one girl who sold her company for $1 billion.
Awesome.
She's just an average girl who just plugged away.
Had extraordinary persistence.
And so the point is most of the part that's holding you back is not from the outside, out of your control. It's the inside. Mm-hmm. It's your lack of self-confidence. It's the part that you think that I can't grow to that level, or I can't have that. There was also that other guy, the actor Tyrese, who grew up in the hood. And now the guy, the way he described it is now he's in Georgia in a very rich area, $25 million home, and he comes from the hood. And he says, I got rid of that limited belief that this could not be me. And it's not luck, guys. It's really going through what it takes to get there. So that's what we're going to really focus on right now is how do you think bigger?
Yes. What can you do to affect the way you think and result in bigger thinking? And so one of them is you actually have to go out of your way to experience big, right? Yeah, that's the truth. Wait, I wish you knew the whole story of that Cindy Eckert. It's incredible. Go look it up. So what can you do to actually experience big? You don't have to arrive at big to experience big. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. First of all, you can go to a conference like we did. Like spend money, spend your time going on purpose to things or reading things that will surround yourself with stories and bigger thinking. You can read biographies. You can talk to people. Ask, if you have the pleasure of going in front of somebody who thinks bigger than you, ask them really awesome questions. Another thing is to, if you have, I have the example before, I'm doing 10 million, I go find somebody who's doing 40 million. Ask them questions. Why are you doing 40 and I'm only doing 10? What do you think the difference is? Like, go and get in their world. The other thing is look at other opportunities. It is so frustrating to look at somebody who's swimming in a little pond as a big fish thinking they're all big shit. Right? They're not looking for opportunities to grow themselves. They're just wallowing in their little pond.
I love that analogy. We always love that analogy. Hey, look, if you're out there too and you're swimming in a little pond as that big fish, you're just a big fish in that little pond. You're not a shark.
No.
You want to be a shark? Go swim with the whales. I don't know.
I don't know if that's a good analogy. But the point is if you're totally closed-minded to other opportunities, now don't get me wrong, there are so many opportunities hitting us in the face that we don't want to listen to all of them. But I actually go out of my way each year to go out of my way to listen to different opportunities that I had not considered before, just to see. You know, you have to be willing to listen with a mindset of you don't know what you don't know. You don't.
Always be growing. Yes. Always be learning. Seek, go after it. And the other common theme is who the heck are you surrounding yourself with? When look, maybe you're content with your life. That's okay. But if you want to radically change your life, radically change it. When I say radically change it, I'm talking about freedom. When you're making the kind of money that gives you the freedom to do what you want, to live your life, not to answer to anyone, to be a blessing to people when you want to bless them. That's the type of lives we're talking about. It's here. Radically change what you're doing. The other one is practice growth thinking. This is easy to comprehend, hard to implement.
It is very hard to implement.
Most of us think way too small, way too small. If I went up to most people and I said, do you think you can make 50 million in a year?
Like, no way.
Well, let me tell you something. Any one of us, I'm going to go over a few things on how do you get there to do that. Look, we were one of them. Not making 50 million
Not
yet. but that's the vision. But we come from being broke. So most of us think too small. If you ask the typical person how much he or she would like to make this year, usually you'll hear a pretty small number or conservative one at best. Now I'm going to point out one of my friends who just recently we had a conversation, and she knows who she is. I'm not going to say her name. And the money she made this month went down. And I know that sucks. But here's the thing. She's focused on just making that small number every month. And that's her benchmark. Where we know better that this girl's way, way better than that.
Mm-hmm.
That, look, okay, sometimes it'll go backwards. But the focus on here's the way, I just want to make this X. No, too small.
Yeah, too small.
Too small. We got to go way past that. That's the benchmark.
And there's way more to it than just thinking about a dollar. Like, I want to reiterate that in case somebody just tuned in. We're not literally talking just about dollars and cents here. It's a far bigger conversation. Are you done with this?
Wait, I got a good one.
I want to answer that.
What was your turning point to thinking bigger? You know what my turning point was? Being around bigger thinkers.
Yeah.
Holy shit. End of story. Yeah. 100%. When we went around the Dave Ramsey organization and you know, the CEO of Chick-fil-A and Southwest Airlines and Ford Motor Company, we realized how small we're thinking.
Yeah, and recently, for example, listening to this guy named Brandon Dawson and his wife Natalie, we looked at each other at this conference and literally went like this. We don't know anything.
Yep.
We don't know anything. And it was awesome. So, and I also want to point out, there's not just one turning point. That was a major turning point, but I believe that you always have to push forward to another turning point to get through another turning point.
Yeah. And
it's
I cannot overemphasize, and I will beat this one to death. It's who you surround yourself with. You can't think small when you're in a room of big thinkers. You'll get energized. You'll feed off of them. The problem is most people don't think it's that important. Most people think the company they're with, and yes, we're real estate. You may be with a real estate brokerage. I'm going to name names. I don't care who blows me up. But when you're getting all these RE/MAX agents reaching out to us, going, the company they're with is not thinking big anymore, and they're not feeling it. That's a problem. And it's not a negative bash against the company. It's just time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of your lane. You know, so if you could double your business or triple your business or quadruple it, that number you're making, now your mindset is starting to think bigger.
Another one that I think is huge is blocking in actual dream time. Now, Chuck's an anomaly. I think that he can integrate really easily into everyday life dreaming. He integrates regular dreaming into his everyday life. So, I need to time block it.
So Jason has a good, do you want a 16-ounce hammer or a 24-ounce hammer? Increase your money to, you know what kind of hammer I want? I want a friggin' battle axe. I want a battle axe. You know what? I'm going to go on a tangent right now.
Okay, go ahead.
You watch those old medieval things. Here's the thing. You go in with a friggin' battle axe, you're crushing the shit out of things. If I was in the medieval time, that would be my weapon of choice.
Now you know what he's dreaming about.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. Getting back to dreaming, for most of us, we get so wrapped up in our everyday lives. If we don't take some time out to just breathe and think and dream, you're making a mistake. And here's the other thing that I recognize at this conference. I have not shared this with you, that you can't just dream with one person. Chuck and I dream all the time. And we dream and we dream and we dream and we talk. But we found out that we were actually limiting ourselves by only dreaming with each other.
Look, there's one of our, that's who we dream with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
when you start to dream with others and pour in, something crazy happens.
And if you're saying to yourself right now, I'm a natural dreamer, just like Chuck, can you imagine if you time blocked it and was intentional?
There's our other dreamer. we're missing one more. Yeah, we need to dream about taking our friends to Italy again. And that's what we did.
We actually do have a bigger
It's a dream, and we have bigger and bigger and bigger dreams. Dreams that are so crazy People look at us like we're nuts, and I'm like, why? You know, and I know we're just all over the place.
I know,
here.
we lost our outline.
Here's someone like Grant Cardone. He just bought another helicopter. I think what he said was like a 24-seat helicopter. He already had a helicopter. People, what did he need another one? He just dreamed it. Look, it's setting goals and visions.
Yes.
To think crazy. Right?
Yes.
We're
totally off our outline. I guess I want to end from
no,
my part.
I'm not. Oh, I'm
no,
not.
Just my part. Just my part.
Mm-hmm.
To end with my part is when you're thinking about what you're dreaming big about. Like one of the things we were talking about this morning is the concept of freedom and what that means to us, and what we're starting to wrap our mind around it. Because that's all. Every big dream has some dollar figure attached to it. So that's why we keep talking about the dollar.
So here's my action. You ready? Whoever stayed on, this is the money right here. This is the money, because when people say, all right, I want to dream big, but what I'm doing, I can't possibly see myself making that kind of money. And you should be saying, Chuck, what is the transition? How do we get there? So I'm going to share with you, especially in the real estate world, that's what we've done. Because the thing I want to end it up with, and you can chime in whenever you want with your lovely words of advice, is what are you doing that's even going to get you there? The vehicle. What is the vehicle? Because the real question is, look, I got it. If I'm a mailman, which I was a mailman.
12 years.
Look, I could only work so much overtime. I'm never going to achieve this status unless I really was diligent in saving my money and investing the right way. But let's just look at it from reality. What are you doing that's going to get you there? So we're gonna talk about in the real estate world, because this is what we did. This is our exact blueprint that took us from being broke to getting to where we need to go. So we went to selling more homes, increasing the price point. Okay, you're making more money. Not going to make you a multimillionaire, but it was making us money. The next logical step, build a team. So now we have a team. It didn't cost us any money necessarily, and we were building there. Then we opened up a brokerage. And we thought the next logical step is building a brokerage. Do you see the mindset? It's growing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to constantly looking to grow and invest. So we built the brokerage up to be one of the largest single office brokerages in the country, doing about $2 billion in production a year. But here was the problem. We also realized that wasn't the vehicle that was going to give us financial freedom. So what did we do next? We invested into homes. Now, you got to remember, guys, we didn't just go from A, being broke, to buying rental houses. So I got a lot of you out there going, well, I can't afford to do that. No, but you got to have some stepping stones. And we were buying rental properties and increasing our wealth, but then realized we're still exchanging time for money. And that was the reason why we went to eXp Realty. Multiple reasons. It was the leverage. It was the multiplier. It was helping other people achieve a level of success that they could possibly make. But here's what I hear from people. But Chuck, I'm not a recruiter. Change. Look, we're talking about creating financial freedom. I'm giving you the vehicle to do it in. This is the vehicle. Recruiting is not a bad word. There are recruiters that make a shitload of money in every industry. Guys, here's the thing. The secret is get the right vehicle, plug your ass into it, work hard, embrace the process, and the process means you may go backwards sometimes.
Yep.
It's a process. Big dreams don't happen overnight.
You know what? I'm just noticing at every little checkpoint that you mentioned in our blueprint, we took a step backwards before we went forward. Every single one of them.
Huge.
Yep.
Huge. You know why? Guys, when people looking at why the hell did you do what you do? How did you have the nerve to do that? How did you have the nerve to go backwards? Because here's why. I'm not focusing on the now. I'm focusing there. This doesn't matter. This part doesn't matter. That mattered. And I had to do whatever it took here to get there. And now there's going to be other ones, other risks we're taking, other things, other investments we have to make, which we are now doing. Yes, we come back from conferences lit up, lit up because we're taking people with us. And we have plans that some of these people haven't even seen yet. That's right, Kristen and Nicole. You know what happens when we go away. And now we have a team of people all over the country. You know what? I'm getting my phone blowing up by people that are just joining up with us and go, I never thought it would be like this, being around big thinkers.
All right,
guys,
way over.
I don't care. Embrace the process. It's a journey. Think big. I'm going to tell you right now, financial freedom, the freedom to do what you want, the freedom to be able to take your friends to dinner whenever you want to good dinners. That's what we live for. Mm-hmm. That's beauty.
It's a blessing from God.
Guys, and if you want more of this, reach out to us. Reach out. Really see what this company's doing to change lives and create more millionaires than any other brokerage out there. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. God bless you and have a great day.